All right, we're here again with John Sutyak for another edition of Catching Up with John Sutyak. John, good to see you as always. Very exciting past weekend that we experienced, both you and I, along with the men's soccer team at the NCAA tournament. Just going to talk about the entire weekend and just having men's soccer. Of course, a few weeks ago they beat MIT. Now they're 4-0 against them in NUMAC championship play, and to be able to go on to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I was really pleased and happy for Coach Cushing and his coaching staff, and especially the guys. We hadn't been to the NCAAs in 6 years for men's soccer, and we had some close calls in the past, but it was really nice to see the men come into their own. They only had one senior, so a lot of younger guys stepping up, showing some leadership, battling through. It was a tough game at MIT. We scored late to win the conference tournament and go on to the NCAAs. And in the first round game against Plattsburgh, it was a hard-fought contest. We were able to punch one in early and then punch one in late to make it 2-0, and obviously get to the second round, play St. Lawrence. Didn't go our way, obviously, but a tremendous experience, and one that I think, we lose Adam Sholey, who's a tremendous leader on that team, but 23 guys are coming back, and there'll be some first years coming in behind them that will add some talent, and it's exciting to see what happens. It's just going to be on them to work hard and not to get too far ahead of themselves, and want to make sure that they're successful, win the conference, and then try and make it a step further next year.
Same with the soccer theme too. Women's soccer, the same with this past weekend too. ECAC New England champions. Just kind of talk about them. I know they had a great season, and for them to be able to get some hardware at the end of the season is always very gratifying.
Absolutely, 8-1-1 NUMAC co-champs. Anytime you can win a championship, whether it's regular season or tournament, is a tremendous honor. Fortunately, for the first time in a number of years, we didn't make the NCAAs, but the program getting to the ECACs where they had been in '99, they had won it in '99, and getting back there and winning it, and it wasn't an easy. There was a double overtime win against Eastern Nazarene. Championship game was a 1-0 affair against Albertus Magnus. So I'm really happy for those seniors, really happy for that team. Not the tournament they probably wanted to go to at the end of the day, but an opportunity to win a championship, be in a championship atmosphere, which is very beneficial for those first-year students, and they'll be hungry coming into next year.
I know we brought up soccer, but we really hadn't had a chance since our last video to kind of just wrap up the fall sports season. There was a lot of positives all across the board. I just wondered if you could maybe just kind of talk about maybe some of the other sports we just haven't had a chance to talk about.
Sure, yeah. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the number, and I don't have the number off the top of my head. We had a great number of student athletes who were all academic in the NUMAC. Women's tennis had, I believe, 7, which was tied for the most in that sport. So a tremendous job by our students taking care of business, obviously off the field, which is why they're here. Women's tennis finishing 3rd in the league, making it to the semifinals, so I was really happy for them. We're going to miss Lindsay next year at the number 2 spot for sure, as well as Morgan and Sarah. And, they still have their spring season to come through. And then field hockey, it was Kara Reese's first year. A great, win against WPI towards the end of the season. And, I think they really ended things on a positive note. We'll miss those seniors as well. And the cross country's wrapped up last weekend at their regionals, and the women, I believe, finished 15th. And having Kim, and I know that she came on board full time right before the season started, but to see how the students responded, they didn't miss a beat. Kim was able to keep up where Coach Carr left off, and a lot of great strides. We were able to finish 4th at the NUMACs. The men finished 6th, so we're getting a lot better there. I know she's working hard in recruiting to bring some students in, and it's been a pleasure to see them. And we were able to see them at Franklin Park and NUMACs, and then at one other, the Saints Invitational. So I know many of them will be competing in track and field, so it'll be great to have them getting to work with Kim full time. So a great fall. Volleyball as well fell a little short, but they made tremendous strides this year. They finished just outside of the top 6 to make the tournament, but I know Coach Letourneau will have them working hard, and we lose Lindsay, which is a big loss, but that's the only senior we lose, so we'll have everyone back, and they'll just keep getting after it and staying hungry. So,
well, the weather outside, maybe a little 60 degrees one day, 40 degrees today. It's hard to decide. That's New England for you, right. But believe it or not, it is winter season. And just kind of talk about maybe from being able to, you were at the men's basketball this past weekend, and there was a special ceremony honoring 25 years of the men's basketball program. So why don't we just kind of start with them, and then we'll kind of work our way around some of the other winter sports.
Yeah, it was great to welcome back many of our alumni from the men's basketball program. We had an individual from the very first team, which was actually not the first varsity team, but they were JV in 88, 89. And he was able to come back, and we had guys that just graduated last year. So welcoming them back, having them come back to see the opening game of the season. We had a great crowd out there on Friday night for a win over Maine Maritime. So, the guys are young, and they showed a lot of promise and a lot of talent. So I wasn't able to see a ton of the game because I was with the alums, but I know coaching staff's feeling good about these guys and how they hopefully will progress throughout the season. The women winning their tip-off tournament last weekend as well, and a victory over Leslie and then one over Trinity. I think they're feeling pretty good about how they played. They don't have much time though because the new MAC slate starts Wednesday tomorrow, and it was at Springfield. So, but a lot of promise from those women as well. And then we talk about how the weather's changed, but swimming's been going on for a month. So. Really, they you can almost call them a fall, winter, and spring sport. It feels like, but great things seen from that group. I know Ross Johnson's been swimmer of the week a couple times. We've had a few relays of the week on the men's side, on the women's side. So we beat Springfield for the first time ever on the men's side, and to be honest, because we have the Springfield Wheaton Cup, the Lipscomb Watkins Trophy, we have a 7-2 lead in that right now, so I'm going to say that because we haven't had a 7-2 lead in a long time, and hopefully we can wrap that up in the spring. But yeah, it's just been tremendous, and track and field and synchro starts this weekend with a exhibition meet, but track and field will start in January, but all those student athletes have been working really hard, and I hear them out there bright and early when I come in the morning, and synchro as well with the music playing. So it's shaping up to be an exciting winter, and you can never tell, but it's early. Optimism is flying high. We're looking forward to another great year with them, and I know they're going to work just as hard as we did in the fall.
As we always ask you, just kind of maybe outside of the sports teams, are there any other things that you're currently involved in that you're working on, or some projects or some events that will be coming up that we should all be aware of? Yeah,
well, we'll have sophomore symposium coming up in January. I'm not particularly working on it, but Lisa Yenish is, so I don't want to take any credit for them doing all this extra work, but Lisa's been doing a great job with that. So we'll be welcoming back a number of our alums to speak with our current sophomores on their job paths, how they've gotten to where they are, how they network, things like that. Men's tennis, we will do a 25th anniversary of men's tennis in August, in April 12th when we take on Colby Sawyer. So we'll be getting ready to advertise for that and let our men's alums know about that, as well as our women's alums. It's a co-ed meet, so we'll obviously welcome back everyone. And then we'll be honoring women's track and field, last year's women's track and field team this Thursday evening, and for their top 10 performances in indoor and outdoor track and field. So we'll honor them at halftime against as the men take on Salve. So a couple things coming up, and I'm sure as the semester winds down and we get into the second semester, we'll start planning some other things. Hopefully we're hosting some new MAC championships tournaments coming up, so that'd be nice too. But that's it.
Well, John, Well, I appreciate it. Well, John, thank you very much for the time. And as always, remember you can follow John on Twitter at WhedonMass_AD. I know you like to do a lot of tweeting there, John. So
I try to calm down with it. I don't like to get a little carried away sometimes.
So don't be afraid to interact with John, and of course also at Whedon Athletics too, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. John, thanks again. We'll look forward to seeing you next month.
Thanks, Matt. Talk to you soon.